like a room?
What's the name?
Swan. Emma Swan.
Emma! What a lovely name.
Thanks.
Welcome to Storybrooke.
Time is frozen here.
Excuse me?
The evil queen did it with a curse. She sent everyone from the enchanted forest here.
Then why does everybody just leave?
They can't. If they try, bad things happen.
It has begun.
Sorry, I'm late.
How would you like a glass of the best apple cider you ever tasted?
Why did you do this?
Because this is my happy ending.
Believing in even the possibility of a happy ending is a very powerful thing.
He doesn't know.
That he's a fairy tale character.
None of them do. They don't remember who they are.
Everything we love will be ripped from us while we suffer for all eternity. No more happy endings.
Every story in this book actually happened. You should know more than anyone.
Why is that?
Because you're in this book.
Where are we going?
Somewhere horrible.
I'll always find you.
I will destroy you if it is the last thing I do.
Enjoy your stay. Emma.
Hey guys, Luke here, welcome back to my channel here today. Today I'm going to give you my review of Once Upon a Time Season 1. Season 1 stars Ginnifer Goodwin as Snow White, aka Mary Margaret Blanchard, Jennifer Morrison as Emma Swan, Lana Parrilla as Evil Queen and Regina Mills, Josh Dallas as Prince Charming and David Nolan, Jared S. Gilmore as Henry Mills, Raphael Sabaj as Jiminy Cricket / Dr. Archie Hopper, Jamie Dornan as the Huntsman and Sheriff Graham, Robert Carlyle as Rumpelstiltskin aka Mr. Gold, and Eon Bailey as Pinocchio aka August Wayne Booth. This season is a very interesting season because it flips the classic fairy tale tropes on their heads and brings the classic fairy tale characters and nursery rhyme characters from the Enchanted Forest to our world in a small town called Storybrooke, Maine, where a lot of weird things begin to happen when a young Bales Bonds person called Emma Swan, on her 28th birthday, is whisked away to Storybrooke by her son Henry Mills, who has been adopted by the mayor of Storybrooke, who is Regina Mills, aka the Evil Queen, well, her evil persona as is shown in Season 1, where she is very manipulative and maniacal and always wants to keep Henry at her side and feels threatened when when Emma comes into Henry's life and tries to take him away from her. Also, this season isn't just about the magic and the fantasy and the battles with monsters and knights and princes and saving princesses. It's also mainly a season about a mother trying to reconnect with her son, the life she never had with him, and her struggle with Regina, who's taken care of Henry ever since he was a young baby. Now, also throughout the season, there are a lot of filler episodes which kind of make it from a 10 to 12 season to a 22 episode season, which had never been done before on a TV show of this scale. I think the most episodes in the season before now was about like 12 or 13, but that was just the, default list of episodes for any single season of a major TV show. Once Upon a Time breaks the mold and has 22 episodes in the first season, which is just crazy. Now, there are some side characters which I find really interesting, such as Archie Hopper, aka Jiminy Cricket, who accidentally or inadvertently killed Pinocchio's parents and, Geppetto's parents, Pinocchio's father, and becomes a conscience because of it, because he wished for it from the wishing star, which turns out to be a blue fairy. And Jiminy Cricket goes on to use his knowledge of kindness to try and help people out. And in Storybrooke, he is Henry's therapist, and he tries to help Henry, especially when Henry goes into a mine that had collapsed earlier in the season, where he finds a piece of Snow White's coffin, which was confiscated from him by his mother because she magically found it, because she doesn't want to know anyone in this town to know that they are actually cursed and they're from a magical realm, and Snow White's coffin would be proof of that. And in this episode, Archie actually comes to realization that, no, I will continue to help Henry in my own way, because taking away that magic and wonder of a child, especially in their development phase from young child into a teenager, is a very weird phase for them, and they need to hold on to that wonder of magic until they grow out of it, which doesn't happen for Henry because of what happens in later seasons, but it is actually philosophical knowledge for most therapists and people who deal with children with mental health issues, to actually hold on to some kind of childish wonder here in the real world. Some of the filler episodes I want to talk about are ones that feel kind of odd. For example, True North, which is an episode all about Hansel and Gretel, where Henry accidentally gets caught for stealing what it was actually Hansel and Gretel's cursed selves who did it. And throughout their episode we find out what happens to them and why the evil queen betrayed them and their father. The real reason why it's called True North is because there is a compass, kind of like Captain Jack Sparrow's compass in Pirates of the Caribbean, that always points to what the user wants, and for the children it was to lead them back to their father. And there is also an interesting side character throughout the show called Sidney Glass, and the real reason why it's called that is because he was the magic mirror in this show's version of Snow White, while before then he was actually the genie of Agrabah. That's why he is black-skinned in the show. There's actually a lot of diversity throughout the show, and there's a lot of actors from different areas of the world, but most of the people are white males and white females, because that's where the classic fairy tales were written in, Germany, which is where the Grimm's brothers come from. And Sidney Glass is actually a very interesting character, because although he is a side character, he has a lot of screen time dedicated to manipulating Emma to thinking that he is going to help her when the case against Regina to become the new sheriff. However, she only wins because Rumpelstiltskin wanted her to win. He also manipulated her to win. He is also a very interesting character, because we find out that he is in fact the Dark One, a very powerful magical being who manipulated the evil queen to cast this curse so that he could find his son in our world. So he has a lot of conflicting motivations, not just with himself but with the people around him. It makes him for a very interesting and compelling character. Although he does some very dark things throughout the show, he is one of the most interesting characters that you neither want to root for or you want to, have killed or hate, or you don't like them, you tolerate him more than you like him. Anyway, also, throughout the final 2 episodes, Emma comes to realization that she is the saviour all along, that Henry was right all along, and she uses her powers to slay a dragon, but then what Gold actually wanted her to find was actually a potion to help wake Belle, and Emma and Regina realise that there is no way to save Henry, who accidentally ate a poisoned apple tart that was meant for Emma Swan, but Regina poisoned it and wanted Emma to fall into a sleeping curse instead, so that she could never wake up. And everyone was just assumed that she would die. But she comes to the realization that she does believe in Henry and in magic, and so she wakes Henry up from the sleeping curse, and the curse is broken and the day is saved. There is also a minor character who comes into the show at the end of the season called August Booth, also known as Pinocchio, and he tries to convince Emma that she is the saviour by showing her his wooden body that has been growing over him for the past 20-something years. I can't remember how long it's been. I'll have to double check with the show itself. But the real reason why is because he's been breaking his promise to look after Emma, and the real reason why is because he made a deal actually with Emma's ex-boyfriend Neil to make Emma go to jail so that she can actually have a son, and then that son will then grow up to bring her to Storybrooke to help her break the curse. The overall first season is good. It has some great production quality, although a lot of it is green screen, but the stuff actually shot on location is absolutely incredible. The characters are compelling. The episodes feel like, linear stories of themselves. They don't actually feel like a complete arc from episode 1 to episode 22. There are a lot of episodes that do actually fit together neatly, like there are 2-parters that feel like they are part of one overall story, but every single episode apart from those actually is a one linear story that Emma is helping people in the town to overcome what's going on. For example, the episode about Ruby and Emma helping her to become a better person in the community, and then we flash back to her time in the fantasy world where she finds out that she is a werewolf, and that then connects to her using her senses to help find the body that the heart that Regina faked because Mary Margaret and David were having an affair, and David's wife Catherine, aka Princess Catherine in the fantasy world, didn't really like about it, and then Regina tried to get Snow White locked up for it and blame her, but it was all just a scheme by Regina because she has hatred for Mary Margaret, aka Snow White, for something that she did in their past. All in all, I would give season 1 of Once Upon a Time a 7.5 out of 10. It was a really good season to start off the show. They had some flaws in the production and the green screen and special effects, but the stuff shot on location, as I said, was really good, and a lot of the characters were compelling and interesting, and you understood what they wanted to do and why they wanted to do it and where they came from. And yeah, I will see you guys in a few hours for season number 2. Peace.